Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasuni Balachandra.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charitha Vinipurarachi, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news. The Bloomberg website says Sri Lanka is in the second place of world capital markets. Park and ride bus service commences. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna gets the power of Uppuveli town, Kadawat Satara Pradesh Sabha after 25 years. Dates fixed to hear the fundamental rights petitions in connection with the Easter Sunday attacks. The President says an education system which protects labour dignity and leads to a skillful society will be created. Another variant of coronavirus detected in Brazil.
And we move on to those and other stories in detail. The Bloomberg website says that Sri Lanka is in the second place of world capital markets. The indices of the Colombo Stock Exchange showed a growth of 3.5% today. State Minister Ajit Nivard Cabral said that achieving such a victory by the local capital market amid the coronavirus pandemic is a special achievement.
We have already seen the confidence levels in the economy moving up quite substantially. The stock exchange performance has been a reflection of this confidence, and what we have seen by way of very high turnovers as well as the gradual appreciation of the all share price index, as well as the number of trades, as well as the number of shares being traded, indicates to us that the movement of the economy is towards that of a stable economy in which people are beginning to have confidence. So we are confident that this will be reflected in the new trades that will occur in the stock exchange as well as in the economy. And the fact that the Bloomberg has listed Sri Lanka as the second best performing stock exchange in the world in the year 2020 is a reflection of that acceptance that Sri Lanka is now moving towards stable destination of trust and confidence.
And meanwhile, the first phase of the Park and Ride bus service introduced as a solution to traffic congestion in Colombo and suburbs was launched today under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. It was launched from Kottawa Makumbura Multimode Transport Centre. The aim of the program is to minimize the number of vehicles moving to Colombo and suburbs by providing a comfortable and safe public transport service for the passengers who travel in motor cars and motorcycles. Another aim is to minimize environmental pollution, time spent and stress of the passengers. Luxury buses are being deployed which carry passengers only according to the seat capacity. The fee charge is double the normal bus fare. The program includes boarding of passengers at limited number of bus holds, reaching the destinations within a short period of time, providing an attractive and friendly transport service, daily review of the service using technology, clockwise and anti-clockwise methods for journeys. The passengers can park their vehicles at the vehicle park belonging to the Multimode Transport Centre without a fee being charged. It is expected to increase facilities to park vehicles according to the progress of the program. Buses will be operated from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Buses will run every 15 minutes during that time. During 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. buses will be operated at every 25 minutes. 64 journeys will be operated daily under the project. The service is jointly implemented by the State Ministry of Vehicle Regulation, Bus Services, Train Compartments and Motor Vehicle Industry and Sri Lanka Transport Board. National Transport Commission, Sri Lanka Police, Road Development Authority, Urban Development Authority and Colombo Municipal Council are contributing to the program. The Ministry of Transport had introduced a special app to get information on the implementation of the project and bus timetable. The President travelled in a bus as deployed for a new service observed its facilities. The President opened a self-service trade stall established at the Multimode Transport Centre to coincide with the project of the Orange Company. Minister Gamini Lokoge, State Minister Diluma Amunugama and a group of people were present on this occasion.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has been able to ensure power of the Uppuveli town Kadawat Satara Pradesh Sabha in the Trincomalee district. The Tamil National Alliance was in power of the Pradesh Sabha since the commencement of local government elections. Mr. R.A.T.S.D. Ratnayaka assumed duties today as the new chairman of Kadawat Satra Pradesha Sabha, representing Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. There are 13 local bodies in the Trincomalee district. Upuveli town, Kadawat Satra Pradesha Sabha has 22 member seats. The Tamil National Alliance obtained 7 member seats and established their rule following the 2018 local government election. They lost the power due to the losing of the budget of the Pradesha Sabha 2 times. During the election today, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna obtained 12 votes with the support of other parties. The Tamil National Alliance obtained only 10 votes. With the 5 Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna members, 2 members of SLFP, 2 members of UNP, 3 members of the EPDP, Tamil Social Democratic Party and Sri Lanka Muslim Congress voted in favour of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
The foundation stone was laid today to build the Ratnapura Mahinda Rajapaksa International Gem Tower. More than 4,800 million rupees has been allocated for the project. The new building complex will be established at the Demuwata area in Ratnapura. It is consisted of 19 floors. Under the first phase, 5 floors will be built at a cost of 365 million rupees. It is expected to be completed within 18 months. The building complex will include a gem museum, trade stalls, international gem laboratory, a shopping complex, a gem cutting and polishing center and a helipad. $5 billion is expected to be earned by the project annually. The foundation stone for the new building complex took place under the patronage of Industries Minister Vimal Veeravansha. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa extended greetings over video technology. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the government has always tried to protect gem industry. Various measures have been taken to add value of gems to the value of the country. He said that the gem tower in Ratnapura has become a reality from today under the Vistas of Prosperity program. The Prime Minister said that $5 billion are expected to be earned through gem and jewellery industry within next 4 years. Minister Vasudevan Anakar also extended greetings over the telephone. A group of people including Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi, Sabarakamu Provincial Council Governor Tikitiko Bekaduwa, State Ministers Lohan Ratwat, Janaka Vakumbara, Members of Parliament and Chairman of Gem and Jewellery Authority Tilak Veera Singha were present on this occasion.
The Colombo High Court decided today that the case filed by the Bribery or Corruption Commission against Minister Johnston Fernando is not legal. High Court Justice Mandla Tilakaratna has given the judgment accepting a revision petition submitted by Minister Johnston Fernando. The Bribery Commission filed a case before Colombo Magistrate Court during the time of the Good Governance government against Minister Johnston Fernando, stating that he has incurred a loss of 40 million rupees to the state by deploying 150 SATAS employees in political activities by relieving them of their duties. Preliminary objections were filed stating that the court has no power to inquire the case as the Commission had not filed in the court the written approval given by the 3 bribery commissioners when filing the case. Therefore, lawyers of Minister Fernando requested the court to discharge him from the charges. The Colombo Magistrate Court decided to hear the case, rejecting preliminary objections. Minister Johnston Fernando filed a revision petition before Colombo High Court requesting to discharge him by deciding that decision was against the law. Accordingly, the High Court Justice has decided that the case filed against the minister was not legal.
And meanwhile, 2,564 books complied by students, teachers and past students of Kandy Mahamaya Girls School were referred to the Sacred Tooth Relic today. The books have been complied to mark the 2,564th commemorative anniversary of the passing away of the Buddha and the 89th anniversary of the school. The program has been organized under the theme Mahamaya Panhinden Danada Upahara. The Ministry of Education introduced Ratak Watina Potak concept due to the long period of closure of schools amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Students, teachers and past students of the Kandy Mahamaya Girls School have authored the books taking into account the concept of the ministry. All the books were referred to the Sacred Tooth Relic after arriving at Sri Dalada Malika premises in a procession following health guidelines. Anunayik of Askira chapter Venerable Anamadu Vedamada Sitera conducted religious observances and delivered a short Anusasana. Devadan Nilame Pradeep Nilangadala was present on this occasion. A ceremony has been organized at the Mahamaya Girls School to launch the books. Chief guest of the ceremony were taken into the Secretary to the State Ministry of Education Reforms, Open University and Distance Education, Dr. Upali Sedura, and Vice Chancellor of Uvalasa University, Professor Jantalal Ratnasekara. Principal of Mahamaya Girls School, Dolani Samarakun, offered the first book to the Mahasangha. A request has been made to UNESCO to recognize the writing of 2,564 books as a Guinness record.
The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has increased to 44,259. It is a percentage of 86.41. Another 13.09% is under treatment, which includes 6,705. 8,930 have left the hospitals from the beginning of this month up to now after recovering from the virus. The highest number of recoveries was recorded on the 1st of this month, which is 826. 512 left today after recovering from the illness. Another 320 COVID-infected persons were found today. 371 of them are contacts of palliative COVID cluster. The other 3 contacts are from the prison cluster. 14,565 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday. A total of 1,456,260 PCR tests have been conducted so far in the country. State Minister Channa Jayasumana says that it will be possible to bring down the vaccine for COVID-19 within the next 2 weeks. Chairman of the Navalapitiya Traders Association, Kitsiri Karunadasan, says that the association has decided to temporarily close down the Navalapitiya town until the 18th due to finding of 16 patients from the area. The town is scheduled to be disinfected. A COVID-19 treatment center was opened at Ampara General Hospital. It can treat 280 patients at once. 72 million rupees has been spent on the treatment center. PCR tests were conducted on 16 parliamentarians today at the parliamentary complex. The Department of Buddhist Affairs says that steps have been taken to open Dhamma schools in other areas except in the Western Province and in isolated areas. 645 from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Korea, Oman, Maldives and Dubai arrived in the country. They have been sent to quarantine centres maintained by the armed forces. Meanwhile, another 164 from Jordan and Australia arrived in the country from Mathala Rajapaksa International Airport. They were subjected to PCR tests at the airport and sent for quarantine centres. 4 COVID-19 deaths were reported in the country today. They were residents of Kiribati, Colombo 10, Colombo 15 and Navalapiti areas. They are in the ages of 60, 75, 78 and 90. Rapid antigen tests are continuing at 11 exit points of the Western Province. 326 were tested yesterday. 7 patients have been found and investigations are continuing to find their contacts.
The much-anticipated and delayed World Health Organization team investigating the origins of the coronavirus has finally arrived in Wuhan, but are warning that may not find clear answers in the weeks to come.
The much-anticipated and delayed World Health Organization team investigating the origins of the coronavirus has finally arrived in Wuhan, only to hit another setback. 2 members have been forced to remain behind after they tested positive for coronavirus antibodies. The rest are quarantining for 14 days. It's been a year now since the first reports of the disease emerged in Wuhan. The international team of scientists was supposed to arrive a month ago, but was delayed by the Chinese government, which drew a rare public criticism of Beijing from the WHO at the time. Beijing says the delay was a misunderstanding. The United States has also criticized the terms of the visit, under which Chinese experts have done the first phase of research. Washington has long accused Beijing of lack of transparency and hiding the extent of the initial outbreak. Meanwhile, Beijing is pushing a narrative that the virus may have existed outside China before it was discovered in Wuhan, partly due to scientific papers that suggest it may have circulated in Europe in 2019. One WHO team member, however, has warned that while they don't expect any hindrances as they scour the city, the scientists may not find clear answers here.
And meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that an education system which protects labour dignity and introduces a skillful society will be created under new normalcy. The President mentioned these while attending the inauguration ceremony of the registration of degree courses of 16th Benedict Catholic Higher Education Institute in Negombo. The BCI Higher Education Institute was launched in 2015 on a concept of His Eminence Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith in recognition of a 21st century intellectual Reverend Father 16th Benedict. It has been established as Sri Lanka Teaching Training School premises at Boulevard Nava in Midavanggoda. 70,200 students have studied English language, information technology and vocational courses during the last 6 years. With the recognition of University Grants Commission as a degree awarding institution, students have been able to follow business management honours degree and information technology honours degree in English medium. The President, speaking on this occasion, said that the national education policy needed to achieve expected economic targets within a short period and accelerated development has already been prepared.
I encourage you to redouble your efforts to develop this institution into an outstanding seat of higher learning in Sri Lanka. Education is one of the cornerstones of the development of any nation. For Sri Lanka to progress, it is essential that our youth acquire the knowledge, skills and capabilities they need to compete on the global stage and adapt to ever-changing circumstances. The education needs to be in line with the latest advances in higher learning and also be holistic in nature. For education to be truly effective, it should be rooted in strong ethical and moral values. In my policy framework, Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor, I have outlined the key components to produce a productive citizen and a happy family. Embedded in it is the creation of a society endowed with knowledge. While I emphasize on re-awakening of school education with all its components revamped, I also accord very high priority to achieve excellence in higher education. Some key components in this sector are to convert all universities to smart learning universities and commence technological faculties to produce more technocrats, expand the open university education system, enabling to provide more distance education opportunities, and upgrade and expand all state universities conforming to international standards. My policy framework also includes many initiatives to create and nurture a skilled society. For our economy to grow, particularly in the new normal environment, a trained, energetic workforce with the right sense of dignity of labor is essential so that we could achieve accelerated development. I'm very committed towards these education-centered initiatives and have established the necessary governance framework to achieve the set targets in a short period. In this context, institutions such as the Benedict XVI Catholic Institution of Higher Education can play a significant role. I am aware that since its establishment under the guidance of His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, the BCI campus has been home to several thousand students who have benefited them tremendously from its diploma level programs. These students have come from all over the country and have been welcomed by this institution irrespective of their ethnic, religious or socio-economic backgrounds. The institution has molded them into a well-educated, right-thinking citizens capable of great contributions to our nation. The service rendered by the BCI campus is very much in keeping with the historic role played by the Catholic Church in educating the youth of this country through its island-wide network of schools since colonial times. Today, I am extremely pleased to see that within a very short span of time, the BCI campus has grown into a degree awarding institute accredited by Ministry of Education, enrolling students in degree programs that are recognized by the University Grant Commission. Our government has ensured that the state universities enroll more students in the next intake, particularly in the areas of medicine, engineering, IT, science and technological subjects. What is important, though, is that the graduates of such intakes are easily employable, filling a huge void in the employment market. Historically, our education system has been geared towards failing students and preventing their progress to higher stages of learning, rather than encouraging them to succeed by providing more opportunities for them to learn as they grow older. While the government is committed to overhauling the overall education system to overcome this weakness, there is a tremendous role for institutions such as the BCI campus in providing able students with high quality degrees outside the state-funded higher education system. I am confident that this institution, with its very eminent governance council, led by His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, together with its very capable and qualified faculty, will enable talented young Sri Lankans from every part of the country and from all walks of life to receive a high-quality higher education at this beautiful campus and become a role model for others to follow. And wish everyone associated with the Benedict XVI Catholic institution of higher education every success in the long and no doubt rewarding journey that lies ahead.
Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri delivered a special lecture on business and future of information technology. His Eminence Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith explained the future path of the Benedict Catholic Higher Education Institute.
We thank you, Your Excellency, for your enthusiastic support in the creation of this beautiful campus, which we hope will pave the way for thousands of youth to not only learn the skills needed to better their prospects in life, but also to achieve a deep sense of moral and spiritual rectitude and a strong sense of uprightness, as well as a sense of deep patriotism for our home nation, Sri Lanka. The Catholic Church, as you know, Your Excellency, has from time immemorial striven to provide a sound education to children and youth the world over. Our aim has always been to assist youth to bring out what is best in them, so that they can live their lives in an exemplary manner, bringing out in them a firm commitment to not only achieving academic excellence, but much more in achieving a disciplined and principled life, without which no human being can succeed in what we see to be a highly challenging and competitive atmosphere prevalent today.
The President handed over the registration letters to a group of students representing the first undergraduates. The Cardinal presented a memento to the President. After the ceremony, the President, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjith, and Education Minister Professor G.L. Peiris planted a sandalwood sapling at the premises. The President made an inspection tour of the BCI campus premises, which is under construction. Western Province Governor, former Air Force Commander Roshan Gunatilaka, State Minister Sudarshini Fernandopulle Dimal Lansa, Education Ministry Secretary Professor Kapila Pereira and a group of people were present on this occasion.
The government has implemented several projects with the aim of increasing Sri Lanka's forest cover from 27% to 32% by 2030. Sri Lanka Air Force has also come forward to support these projects. Accordingly, they will sprinkle seeds from air at selected places. The fourth phase of the project was implemented yesterday on the instructions of Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sudarshana Pathirana. The Air Force Media Center said that they sprinkled about 70,000 seeds from air, covering 60 acres of the Ampara Lahugala National Wildlife Park. It has been implemented by the Sri Lanka Air Force Agriculture Command setup at Katnayaka Air Force Base. Steps have been taken to deploy trained K9 for search and security operations at the Katnayaka International Airport. It will be officially implemented from tomorrow. 20 K9s have been trained to detect explosives and drugs carried in luggage. They have been trained at Sri Lanka Police Training School. They have also been subjected to practical tests by the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board. The passing out parade of the K9 team took place at Katnayaka Air Force Base recently.
The Colombo Crimes Division has found 18 kilograms of ice this morning from a luxury bus travelling from Galle to Colombo. The drugs were found during a search operation conducted at Kosgoda area. Police said that Lachi, who is an in-compliance of Angodaloka, who is reported to have died in India, has conducted the record. The 27-year-old bus driver has been arrested. It has been revealed that he distributed drugs at various places during the journey. He was scheduled to be produced before Balapitiya magistrate today.
The second phase of the series of seed conferences organised in connection with the 4th anniversary of Sri Lanka Bodhijana Peramuna will commence tomorrow. It will be held under the theme Siu Desa Suraki Siu Wasara, following health guidelines. The first phase took place at 32 electoral divisions on 19th and 20th of last month. 61 conferences of women, youth and affiliated organisations took place apart from the main representative parties. Party founder Basil Rajapaksa has instructed to launch the second phase under the supervision of regional health authorities, strictly following health guidelines.
The government has decided to provide concessions to the businessmen at Galle Fort Dutch Old Hospital building. Accordingly, Secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing, Sriminal Pereira, has informed the businessmen that 50% of the monthly arrears of the rent from February last year to this month will be written off. This was disclosed during a discussion on the possibility to uplift business affected by the pandemic and concessions that can be given by the government. The Secretary said that all businessmen facing crisis are eligible for the concessions and they should commence paying the arrears after coming into an agreement with the Urban Development Authority. The Galle Old Dutch Hospital building was opened in 2014 after renovations. It was opened during the time President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the Secretary to the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development. The building complex was modernized with the assistance of the army. The businessmen at the building complex depend more than foreign-off tourists. The Business Association at the Dutch Hospital building says foreign tourists are not visiting to the place and a certain number of local customers visit the place. The Urban Development Authority has decided to install name boards at the entrance of the Southern Expressway to locate business at the Old Dutch Hospital building. And with that, we conclude tonight news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.